I recently made a video talking about the Finternet. Now, this was coined by the BIS back in 2024, but when we really think about what the Finternet is, when we actually read the summary, this is basically just the Internet of Value, which Ripple did basically create back in 2016 and 2017. When we really read into the Finternet, we already know that this includes tokenization, unified DLTs. It includes central bank money that's now digital. It even regards like a few things happening around crypto that is not possible with today's technology. This is basically just addressing a new financial system. They even call it a new financial system. And what's crazy about this is, Ripple is a company that was looking at the way money moves and said, hey, we need to fix that. And they've been doing this for well over a decade. So now that the BIS is on board with this, and now that even governments are openly embracing digital assets and digital currencies and even stablecoin initiatives, tokenization initiatives, it's so comical to look back in time, right? I mean, if we really think about Ripple and XRP, from about 2017 onward, a lot of people thought that Ripple and XRP were becoming the new financial system. Even still today, a lot of people still think that Ripple and XRP are the new financial system. Now, from my point of view, I think that that is a broad statement. I think that Ripple and XRP have a crucial role to fill in this new financial system. But just as if we really kind of look into like the Finternet documents, for an example, we know that this is going to be a multi-chain revolution. We know that there's going to be multiple crypto projects tied to this. We know that it's going to be tapped in on, something that connects all of these to one network. So it's going to be a network of networks. And we know that that's exactly how it's going to work. So yes, Ripple and XRP are, a part of the new financial system. They are going to play a huge role here, but I don't think that they are specifically just the new financial system. But I wanted to bring this back up because I wanted to share with you guys this image, which was the coming reset of the international monetary system. If you have been watching the channel for quite some time, you are very well aware of this image because I did include it on multiple occasions. The reason why I wanted to bring this up is because of what we're now seeing around gold. Almost every single day, we see some new announcement around gold. And this new system that we're really kind of looking at, and the reason why we see so much gold accumulation from central banks, is the way that I really kind of foresee the overall system that we're kind of headed into being built out, right? Where gold is the backing. So we have a global gold-backed SDR standard. And then in the tier 1 spot is the SDR, which will be defined as equal to a specified weight in gold. This will also be in a system where gold is revalued possibly. And then tier 2 would be all of these different currencies. These would be stablecoins. Today, we know that central bank digital currencies are banned in the US, or the term at least CBDC is banned. But stablecoins are totally fine, right? Even though all the differences around a stablecoin and a CBDC is that a CBDC is a bank issued stablecoin, a central bank issued stablecoin. That's all a CBDC actually is. In its simplest form, a CBDC is a stablecoin issued out by a central bank. So if somebody says, what is a central bank digital currency? You say it's a stablecoin that is created by the central bank. Everyone is terrified of this, but they're totally fine with stablecoins. It makes absolutely no sense to me. A stablecoin is no different. It's programmable, it's traceable, it's trackable. There's no real difference here. So tier 2 could be either CBDCs or stablecoins. I do think that they will be stablecoins issued out by the central bank, so AKA they will be CBDCs. And then when we look down here with XRP and Ripple, right? So XRP would be defined as a specified quantity of SDRs, just like the local currencies. This is how they will all be backed. And then we will have XRP be that bridge between digital central bank digital currencies, which themselves lack interoperability. This is actually happening even today, right? We talked about all of the stablecoin initiatives launching on the XRP ledger. This is definitely possible. We already have US dollar-backed stablecoins on the XRP ledger, Euro-backed stablecoins on the XRP ledger. We don't have a yen yet on the XRP ledger or even a Chinese stablecoin. We know that a digital pound is coming to the XRP ledger. It's been talked about many times. It's been hinted at as well. We do have a few other stablecoins. I know that the Australian digital dollar is on the XRP ledger, or at least coming to the XRP ledger. There's one that I'm missing, but there's also even a Brazilian real. So, I mean, like, all of these different stablecoins are launching on the XRP ledger. It's basically creating this backing system. Now, like I said, yes, it's not just based on the XRP ledger. We know that there's stablecoins on Ethereum. We know that there's stablecoins on Stellar. The reason why XRP is so interesting to me is, well, I made a post about it, right? I even made a post using this image, and I said, I think about this image almost every single day. One of the main reasons why I jumped into XRP in the first place was how everything aligned with Ripple and XRP becoming a crucial piece of the monetary system. Today, we know how close we are to this new system. We now have global asset management companies with $10+ trillion with assets under management, tokenizing billions, just the beginning, and governments around the world embracing stablecoins. Digital assets and the technology behind them are now on center stage. They are too big to ignore. The craziest part about what's happening is that Ripple has been preparing for this for over a decade, partnering with hundreds of banks, trying to onboard them into the blockchain space from the beginning, all with XRP and the XRP ledger. I truly don't believe there's any other company and project in this space more suited for what's coming than Ripple and XRP. Obviously, there will be other DLT winners, and I mention them constantly, but one of them that I am so confident about is XRP. Some say Ripple and XRP are the new system. It's a possibility, especially considering all the connections Ripple has. Just think for a moment about some of the connections. The BIS, which they're on the CPMI group, the ISDA, which they are integrated into the ISDA, which is, a derivatives organization, Accenture, Volante, Thunes, Finastra. These are just a few organizations and core infrastructure players. Accenture and Finastra alone have over 17,000 institutional clients connected. Just for reference, Swift has 11,000. I didn't even bother to mention the 100+ confirmed banking partnerships or the acquisitions that allowed for even more institutional exposure. As I have mentioned before, I strongly believe there is no other company more suited for what's coming, and we already know how important XRP and XRPL is for this. And yeah, listen, this is exactly why I do think that, Ripple and XRP are going to become a crucial piece of this system. I think, at the end of the day, with XRP and Ripple, what we will eventually see is really Ripple handling a specific percentage of cross-border payments, all pushed through the XRP ledger. This will be through stablecoins settled out using XRP as the gas token on the XRP ledger. XRP will also be a bridge currency, which means this basically means that the demand and the volume moving through XRP on a day-to-day basis will be very immense. It will be massive, okay? Now, how does all of this fit to the new system, and how could we actually believe that this could be a possibility? Well, let's go over here. So this is from Black Swan Capitalist. We have gold is being reclassified under Basel III. Central banks are buying it for a reason. It's not just a hedge anymore. It's the foundation of a new system. Gold will be the collateral, stablecoins will represent the digital layer, and XRP will function as a settlement rail. XRP already is a settlement rail, and Ripple is actually creating a settlement rail with XRP at the center point. They even said it, that XRP is the perfect bridge currency even for stablecoins. Even with RLUSD launching, they said it actually, increases XRP's utility as a bridge currency. But check this out.
We have a tremendous paradigm shift that's going on, where money is not coming into the United States, where the long bond is not a flight to quality asset. Gold suddenly is the flight to quality asset. People, I think Costco is selling gold retail and they can't keep it in stock, and gold has gone from, it was living at $1,800 an ounce not very long ago, and once it broke above 2,000, it was just straight up, and now it's basically a third of 10,000. 3,333 and 33 cents it was actually when I looked at it yesterday. So I think gold is a real asset class. It's no longer for lunatic survivalists and wild speculators. It's viewed as an asset class, and central banks have been accumulating gold. Gold was stuck in the mud because for a decade or more, central banks were selling it down. They've bought it all back.
So yeah, obviously the demand for gold is crazy right now, and central banks have been accumulating massive amounts of gold. Even over here, we just got an update on the 28th that global gold reserves from central banks just hit 36,000 tons. This is approaching levels not seen since the Bretton Woods era in the 1960s. Back then, gold anchored the world financial system. Do you think it's a coincidence? No. Listen, debt is outrageous right now. Debt has been unsustainable for years, for over a decade now. So we're supposed to sit by and think that this is all, fine. No, it's not. It's the number one reason why we're now starting to hear talks about how we could use stablecoins. I've talked about this on multiple occasions. We have 3 videos right here in a row, alone that tell us that stablecoins are going to have immense potential for the US dollar. Check this out.
Stablecoins really have the potential to ensure American dollar dominance internationally, to increase the usage of the US dollar digitally as the world's reserve currency, and in the process create potentially trillions of dollars of demand for US treasuries, which could lower long-term interest rates. Stablecoins really have the
Now, also, we have Trump saying with the dollar-backed stablecoins, you'll help expand the dominance of the US dollar. It'll be at the top, and that's where we want it.
You will unleash an explosion of economic growth, and with the dollar-backed stablecoins, you'll help expand the dominance of the US dollar, and many, many years to come, it'll be at the top, and that's where we want to keep it. We only want to keep it at the top, always.
And then, of course, we just heard from Scott Bessent that also said that crypto is not a threat to the dollar. In fact, stablecoins can reinforce dollar supremacy. Digital assets are one of the most important phenomena in the world right now, yet they have been ignored by national governments for far too long. This administration is committed to establishing the United States as a hub for digital asset innovation, and the Genius Act moves us one step closer to that goal. Now, I'm not going to play this video clip because there's no point, right? This is almost 2 minutes long. But yeah, it's very clear that the US government is fully embracing stablecoins. And also, even Judy Shelton, and if you guys don't know, this was one of the previous individuals tied back to the Trump admin. We have agreed fully Scott Bessent, and I would also like to see stablecoins backed by gold convertible treasury bonds. She's actually quoting this post from Scott Bessent that was talking about how stablecoins are set to grow and expand rapidly, and that we need the Genius Act to pass fully so that we can embrace stablecoins in a huge way in the US. This at a time where the system seems to be breaking down. I mean, when we think about what's coming, we know that crypto, blockchain, stablecoins, they will all play a vital role here. This is where we look for Ripple and XRP, because Ripple and XRP have been a part of this since the beginning, since this was even a thought. But also, the BIS is warning that we have entered a pivotal moment in the global economy marked by rising uncertainty and declining trust in institutions like central banks. This is the central bank for central banks. Trust is fading, and the trust is fading because of how broken the system is. Listen, 2008 already showed the cards that they had in their hand. The system has always been broken. They never fixed anything since 2008. So we know that a big collapse is coming. Might not be this year, but I do believe that a collapse is coming. And from that collapse, the new system will rise. And it will be on digital rails. DLT, blockchain, stablecoins, they will all be tapped in. But don't forget gold. We know gold will be a part of this. And also, by the way, Gold Telegram had Judy Shelton on their podcast. This goes back to 2024. In my conversation with Judy Shelton, who served as an economic advisor to President Trump during his last presidency, the US should combine the strengths of gold-backed systems with blockchain technology's benefits. Integrate stablecoins into future advancements, which is happening right now. Stablecoins are being integrated and adopted in a huge way. The United States should establish Treasury Trust bonds as a gold convertible instrument. The Federal Reserve should not create a central bank digital currency. Again, stablecoin. It will be a stablecoin. This is what monetary integrity looks like. Check it out.
I think we want to harness the good features and the good economic performance that occurred historically under gold-anchored systems with the benefits of blockchain technology, bring the innovation of stablecoins and cryptocurrencies into the advancements that we could potentially make. I'm very much against the Federal Reserve having a central bank digital currency. I trust the private sector because I think they will keep more in mind the priorities of the individual and to safeguard that economic liberty. I would like to see a way to reconcile the interest of people in an alternative currency based on decentralized finance with the value of having the world's reserve currency. That's why I say we could, to me, doing the Treasury trust bond idea, and I should probably end here, but that I do discuss at length in the book, is a way to signal pursuing the idea that Ronald Reagan expressed back in the 80s when he said, unless we have some kind of gold backing for the dollar, we can never really get our hands on inflation. And he said, my goal as president will be to make the dollar the most trusted currency in the world. And I hope our next president will take that to heart and pursue it using the cutting edge technologies, very exciting, that are being advanced today.
And yeah, I mean, listen, this is the best way to actually have a full monetary reset. Integrate the new technologies that we have, incorporate the good from the old, which is gold, and all of a sudden we have a full-on new financial system. Also, remember that Judy did post video clips from Fox on March 5th of this year. Gold-backed treasury bonds should be introduced on July 4th, 2026, as a signal to the world of America's leadership towards fiscal discipline and a stable monetary order as the appropriate platform for international trade. And here we have growing support for gold-backed treasury bonds. Same one over here as well. I mean, listen, when we think about what's happening here, this is a full monetary shift. If we actually see this combined with stablecoin initiatives, combined with DLT and blockchain being adopted fully for the US, this will align with what we've been hearing and talking about for years now around Ripple and XRP. And yes, I do believe that Ripple and XRP will be a part of this in a huge way, considering the fact that the XRP ledger is already home to, hundreds of millions of dollars in tokenization or tokenized assets, and also a ton of stablecoin initiatives. Also, the fact that it's been around since 2012 definitely helps the case, but also all of the partnerships and all of the integrations that Ripple has connecting to the XRP ledger and XRP is also a huge plus one. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.